Hello. Tumechelewa kidogo. We are a bit late. We were trying to figure out how TikTok Live works, and then we we found that our accounts have all been blocked from live stream going to TikTok Live for the next 30 days. But anyway, good evening, lovely fans. We are here for Club Banterz Season 2, Episode 2, Game Week 2 preview. Hey, those are a lot of twos. Steve, Evra, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, nimekuwa poa. I enjoyed my first game week. Yeah, and I think we have a few points to go through. Yeah.
At least I'm happy we won, and I'm also happy that my predictions came
Mm,
true. Yeah, I predicted a narrow win, a 1-0 or a 2-1,
mhm.
and I'm
Uh,
glad that it happened.
we won, but I'm not a happy supporter.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we at least we got the 3 points. So yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, maybe we can start off by going through the scores. Did we go through the scores? I think we went through most of the scores
Yeah.
in the previous, or where? What did no?
Yeah, we did
When
go
was
through the
our last
scores. I think the only
was on
match that,
Monday? Was the
yes,
United match?
was the
Yeah,
United match,
was the United
which
match
ended, let me see, which
one
ended at
zero.
1-0. Yeah, a controversial call there. The referee did not award Wolves a penalty in the dying minutes of the game. What do you think?
Uh, I know I'm supposed to be biased, but my
Mhm.
opinion it was a penalty. I think even a yellow card. On the ball, I think he went more for
Mhm.
the man actually going for the
Yeah.
ball because as a goalkeeper, you can't reach that ball in time.
Mm.
So maybe he just made that for the man and maybe destabilize before he could head it in. Yeah, but we're lucky there. The VR, I don't know. This season. I don't understand VR at all. So I I was
Well,
like I was sure that that was a penalty.
to me, I also think it's a penalty because at the end of the day, uh, if the goalkeeper fouls a player and does not get the ball, if even if he did get the touch of the ball or even by a fingertip, then it wouldn't have been a foul. So we were a bit lucky there, but who knows? It will be an important 3 points going forward in the season. Remember, last season, Manchester United was subject to some very controversial penalty decisions as well. There were around 6 penalties that the team did not get. So I think it's karma this season.
I don't know. People always have this perception that VR is here to is like a Manchester United thing. We are so much favored. I think last season we were really let down by VR,
Mm,
which people don't talk about. They only see
yeah.
maybe one instance, like the one for the last game,
Hmm.
and they think that. I remember there were so many memes that there was one. I think I remember that. What was it? That it was Varane.
Yeah.
His first three
Yeah.
letters is VR. Somebody like capitalized the that
The VAR in
it
Varane.
was VR. Yeah, it was VR Rane who won us the game. So
Mhm.
yeah, I hope me right now I don't understand VR. But maybe after a while I'll be able to have a better grasp on what is a foul, what is a because right now it's crazy. Even the
Mm,
handball, something so easy like a handball for me
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Even if I see something in the screen, I'm not sure whether they'll give it or not
Mm,
because the
true.
rules have really changed this season. Hopefully, hopefully it will be more clear as we go through the
Yeah.
season. But
Yeah.
right now,
However,
I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. However, I think it's called PGMOL, PG Mall, gave Wolves an official apology regarding the decision, but that does not help really because the game was already
Yeah.
decided by a 1-0 win. Moving forward, at the Spanish La Liga, we had Atletico Madrid beat Granada 3-1.
Mhm.
Atletico Madrid having a very good start to the season. Yeah, and then I think there was a game on Wednesday, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. That is the
The,
women's knockout stage. We had England beating Australia 3-1. So the English women are in the finals, which is a big, big event for them and a big, big moment for them to get to the finals.
yeah. I haven't been really following. I think I usually just follow like the results. Where here, I think Sweden are Sweden still in or they were eliminated. I
I'm
heard there
not
was a
sure.
Sweden, Australia also were there, England
Yeah, I
and
haven't
Spain. I
watched
think
even a
Spain. England
single
was
match.
also I haven't watched. I don't follow women's soccer that much, so I rarely watch women's soccer. I don't know why.
Why are we
Maybe we
laughing?
should start. Maybe we should start this season following the women's league. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Yeah.
get more female fans that way.
Mm. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Man City added the UEFA Super Cup to their cabinet. Man City beat Sevilla 1-1 via
yeah.
penalties. Sevilla lost. Sevilla's that name is difficult. Good, is it Good Day or I don't know. Sevilla lost or didn't score the last penalty. Man City scored all penalties, so they won 5-4 in the penalties, and they added the Super Cup. Remember last season they won the treble, and now
Yeah.
they've started the season the Super Cup. They did get the Community Shield, but at least this one is a big trophy to have.
Yeah. I think uh, Man City are in trouble. They're not playing convincing, like they're not playing like champions. I don't know, maybe the team is a bit shaky after losing maybe Gundogan and some other key players, but they don't seem on it. But I think even last season they started shaky. I remember like they were not playing so well. There was a time even Pep said that the way Arsenal is going, they'll be sure to win the league, but we all know how that ended. So I think they are a bit shaky. Maybe they'll get into the groove as the season moves. A big blow for them is KDB. I think without KDB, they're not winning the league. For me,
But
he's a really
yeah,
key player. And now that they don't have Gundogan, who was a good cover for him,
yeah.
I don't think Kovacic is as good as Gundogan. He's more like a McTominay. Who he's a hard worker, but he's not the guy that will force the team to win games or will push the team to win a game that they don't deserve to win, I'd say. So this season, Man City, unless something happens, Haaland also looks lost without KDB, which is a good thing for all other teams. I think all
But
other teams are
yeah,
rejoicing that Haaland is not getting the service he usually gets.
yeah. But KDB is an aging player. They need to replace him eventually.
Yeah, they'll have to replace him, but not anytime soon. I don't think anyone thinks that he's in a downward spiral. Maybe it's because he's been playing so much football. And also last season, I remember Pep was really managing his time. He wasn't giving him like 90 minutes throughout. So I think even Pep knows that this guy anachoka. Like his body is getting tired as it goes. He gets older, which is
Yeah.
good for all of us because KDB, I think, last 5 years, half a decade, has been the best player of the season for me. Like overall, as a footballer, he's been world class. I'd say. I don't know why he's not even in the conversation of Ballon d'Ors. I usually
Yeah.
don't know why, because he's one of the best players right now. I think I'd put him maybe the best right now, if I think about it.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to read, he knows how to pass the ball, he can score. Yeah, he's if not the world, in England, he's the best player for me.
Yeah, he's among the top midfielders in the world. If he's not the top, then he's among the top five. But one of the questions before we go to the previews now, but one of the questions that people keep asking, if Bruno Fernandes was at Man City, would he have been regarded as one of the best midfielders, or if not the best midfielders in the world?
I don't know. Bruno, I think Bruno is Bruno and KDB is KDB. KDB is more calm on the ball. He's not. I think Bruno is a bit more erratic with how he plays, but he can also pick a pass. I think Bruno has the ability, just not the calmness that De Bruyne has. I think that's the difference between the two players.
But do you
KDB
think
is
that
usually intentional in everything he does. Like he will slow down the game when the game needs slowing down. He will like first like he knows how to read the game. I think he knows how to read the game more than Bruno at this time, and I think he's more intelligent in reading a game than
yeah,
Bruno. That's the difference. Only, but
but the yeah,
ability wise, I think they're at par because they
yeah,
can both
cause
give amazing passes. They know they have good ball control. It's just because Bruno is a bit more erratic, so he gives more missed passes, I think, than it.
yeah, cause the question is, regardless of whether KDB is at City or not, it's not a comparison with KDB. It's about Bruno playing under Pep and using his abilities based on how good Bruno is. Would he be then considered as probably a Ballon d'Or type of player?
For sure, if Bruno was playing under Pep, he's definitely in the conversation because it's Pep, and Pep knows how to get the best out of like any player. For me, this is a contentious issue. I don't think Rodri is as good as people like hype him. It's only that Pep has been able to like bring out the best out of him, like a Busquets. Like right now, Rodri is playing like prime Busquets when there was when the guy was back in Barcelona. I think he's not a fast player, Rodri. I don't think in a race he can, but he's good at interceptions. Like whatever that play is good at, Pep is able to nurture it and like take it on a higher level. So a player looks amazing, I'd say. But under Pep, obviously Bruno is Ballon d'Or material for sure.
Awesome. Now let's go to the preview section. Today we have a fixture at 9:45 p.m. That is Kenyan time. Forest are hosting Sheffield United. Sheffield United have actually shocked guys because they've been one of the teams that has been able to stay in the Premier League for a long period compared to the other promoted teams that they came up with.
But unfortunately, I think they're going down. Their football is dead. That's what I'd say. They have it's a dead. Like there's nothing inspiring in that team that you might say that there's something. There's something in this team. Sheffield is just a dead team to me. Definitely going down unless a miracle happens. They sign some good players, but if they continue with the players they have,
Yeah.
I don't see them escaping the relegation. I don't see them because all other teams like Nottingham Forest they're investing.
Yeah.
Sheffield, I don't know have they bought even one player? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they've bought, it's not a player that will help them do anything.
Yes. Yeah, in case you want to watch Hurricane again, you have a chance because he has a game at 9, that is in a few minutes, actually in an hour. They are playing away against Bremen. I think I'll watch that game and see how Hurricane performs.
Yeah, I think I'm sure he'll be a top scorer in German. I don't see him not scoring loads of goals in Germany, especially uh, while playing for Bayern. It's inevitable now. I think the league is secured. I'm sure they'll get the league. What now? I'm I don't know how good they'll be. They're now a threat. I'd say they are a threat at in Champions League.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because of buying him, they are right now they're in a better position than last season.
Yeah.
Because last season they were actually lethal.
Mm.
They were they were in group stages last
Yeah.
16. They were blowing away teams. So I don't know. I think they'll also be a threat. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
my three teams that will be a threat this season, Champions League. I think Bayern, Real Madrid will be back. I'm sure. Right now, Bellingham, Jude is like
Is yeah.
is exploding. So I'm sure he'll push the team. And maybe City and maybe Arsenal. I don't know. Arsenal seem like they're a really good team right now. I know last week I was talking like smack about them, but they are a decent team, I'd say. Although they
Yeah.
struggled, there was some parts of that game they really struggled. Like
Yeah, they
second
did.
half,
Yeah.
second half, Nottingham was not playing around. So, but Arsenal have like good players in the bench. That's what I'd say. Throughout all the seasons, Arsenal always had a good first 11. I think this is the only season in the past 5 that Arsenal have a bench.
Yeah.
Like if you remove Havertz, you can bring Trossard.
Yeah.
You see, if you remove maybe like they have a number 2 player who can play just as well as the person who's playing.
Yeah.
Maybe striking. Striking is the only position I think they don't have like a killer right now,
Yeah.
especially after the injury
Jesus.
to to Jesus.
Yeah.
Nketiah is not the guy to score them 25 goals in a season. I don't think maybe he'll be in 2 seasons, 3 seasons under Arteta. But right now, if I was Arteta, I would be more mindful in getting a striker. Or why don't they want to play the ball? What's his name? The young guy
Bolgan.
who scored 1,000,000 goals in League One.
Bolgan.
Yeah, because if I was a coach and I had such a talent,
Yeah.
I'd try and exploit it and just tell him, listen, you're our guy right now.
Yeah.
We don't have Jesus. I think he has a higher ceiling than Ketia. I think Bologan has a higher ceiling, and he's
Yeah.
even younger.
Yes.
So I wouldn't sell him. I don't know why they're insisting on selling that guy. He's already shown that he's good. It's what if I'm just thinking, what if they sold Saliba? Because there was a time Arteta didn't want him.
Yes.
He was like just putting him aside and yeah. So
Yeah.
I think they should try and give the young guy a chance at least. A chance. Give him like 5 games right now. Even put him as a sub for Nketiah. If you don't trust him that much, play Nketiah. Then if Nketiah doesn't produce, introduce the young guy. I'm sure he can help them. But I don't know. Maybe there's something Arteta knows that we don't know about the guy. That's why he's not like he doesn't believe in him.
Yeah, and they are playing away against Crystal Palace. What's your prediction for that game? They are playing on Monday.
I hope they lose, but I think they'll win. I hope they lose. I hope that day Olise with his new contract he'll be on fire and score a few screamers for us. But
Yeah.
I think man to man Arsenal will overwhelm Crystal Palace. The first game of the season is always a wish. Everyone is trying to get his feet. I don't think the first game of the season is a game that I'd say that it shows everything.
Yeah.
because everyone is from preseason. Like
Mm.
everyone is just trying to find his footing in the game. That's
Yeah.
why, even though people have been saying, Manchester will, if we continue playing, I'm sure we will not play like this.
Mm.
I'm sure after
Yeah.
that game, Ten Hag sat the team down
Mm.
and told them that we need to do something.
Yeah.
Let's hope even he'll change the squad to on Saturday. I hope
Mm.
he'll start Sancho. I don't know why he doesn't want to start Sancho. And Sancho actually, for me, if
Mm.
Sancho was the like tipping point for that game, Sancho changed everything.
Yeah.
Speed,
Yeah.
like even the pace of the game changed when Sancho came.
Yes. So the Manchester United are also away. They are playing against Tottenham, one of the big matches over the weekend. Tottenham, remember, lost their key goal scorer in Harry Kane. Over the weekend, they looked a bit shaky. Manchester United have recently not had a good time away at Tottenham. What do you think about that game? Personally, I think that it will be a draw. I'm foreseeing a draw because both teams at the moment are a bit shaky. Tottenham have a new coach. He's still finding his feet. Manchester United are still trying out some of the new tactics based on the squad available. Personally, I think it's a draw.
Uh, I'm always optimistic when we play, so I always go for a win. I'm sorry, unless we are playing Man City or Liverpool. Those are the only two teams that I fear. Yeah. All other
Okay.
teams, I think we can beat. We have
Yeah.
the manpower to beat them, and I'm
Yeah.
sure the team will. I don't know. The team will have a new like. Will be
Mm.
more like the last game we played. We weren't like serious. We weren't working hard.
Mm.
We had like a million missed passes. I don't know. Bruno was okay. This is what I'd say. All the games I've watched where Bruno, even in preseason,
Mm.
has played alongside the guy we bought from Chelsea,
The Mount.
Mount. Bruno has not been produced.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason is because Mount is occupying spaces that Bruno usually occupies, especially going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Mount is playing like a 10. He wants to play like a 10, but
Mm.
on paper, Bruno is our number 10.
Yeah.
So if a player is occupying a space where another player usually plays, by default, Bruno now becomes a number 8.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a bit behind. Now the problem is the Mount is not producing in that advanced role. He's
Yeah.
not. He's like a ghost worker. The last game he was
He
running,
actually
yes, but
was
he was
nowhere to
running
be
around,
seen.
but you wouldn't see him with the ball or without the ball. He was just running around, and when he got the ball, he didn't do anything much with it. So for me, I wouldn't start them together in the next
Mm.
match. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. Or if you
Yeah.
start him, put him in the wing. Put him far
Mm.
away from the midfield.
Yeah.
Just don't put him close to Bruno because
There is a
there
clash.
there's no link. There's no link between those two players.
Mm.
Kabisa, they're not like I don't know. Maybe they need to play more together, train more together, and get more in sync. I don't think Mount is a really bad player, but in
Mm.
his position, I'd rather even put McTominay because McTominay knows how to stick as a number 8 and run up and down and maybe even score. Like he's not even the simple things he's not doing well. Mount. I don't know. Maybe we wasted some money, but I'll give him a few more games so that
Yeah, let's give him a few more games.
let's
Now,
give him a few more games.
Fulham will host Brentford at 5 p.m. Kenyan time. Same time, Liverpool will host Bournemouth. Liverpool need to start winning games. So we know Liverpool is also one of the teams that usually has a slow start and then they start picking up. They are yet to replace their midfield general who left to Saudi Arabia. That is Henderson. They are still looking around for midfielders. Remember, Caicedo rejected them as well as Mario Lavia. They are going now for the Manchester United midfield target in Amrabat. Amrabat said no. He's still waiting for Manchester United. But I think Liverpool really needs to strengthen their midfield. Remember, Liverpool usually depend a lot on their three players in the middle because they are the ones that usually support the front runners in terms of spreading the balls as well as allowing them to press high. Now, without key players there in the midfield, remember the midfielders they had, they also lost the Brazilian to Saudi Arabia, so they really need to strengthen their midfield.
I think especially when right now Thiago is injured, their midfield looks a bit shaky. It's not as solid as it was because with Henderson and Fabinho and maybe
Fabinho gone, yeah.
Fabinho. Fabinho was it? Is it Fabinho or Fabinho?
There is Fabinho.
Yeah, Fabinho
Both
is
of them
also
left.
both of them left. So
Yeah.
their midfield is not as solid as. But I also think Liverpool are not so like they have a good team.
Yeah, because remember they
On
have
paper, they have
McAllister.
one of the best teams.
Yeah.
They have McAllister, who's also a solid player. I think he's also because he's in a new team. They also the other guy who they bought, I don't know who has a hard name. I can't remember. The Hungarian. Is it Hungarian or what?
He Saboslai.
Yeah, Szoboszlai. So I think
And they also bought
they just
a
need game time.
an Asian player. Is it Japanese player yesterday?
Yeah, they wanted after the Caicedo and the Lavia went. So I think now they are panicking. So they're just looking for anyone. Hopefully they don't snatch Amrabat from us. If we continue just like I don't know why it takes so long for Manchester to sign a player.
The story in the papers says that it's dependent on whether either McTominay or Van der Beek leaving, so that they can be able to balance the books.
Because what
they said
Sky was saying, or two.
They are saying two because currently, remember Manchester United were fined because of breaching FFP rules. So right now they also need to be careful not to breach them again. But my opinion was, why don't they buy him and then now ship someone out once they get his signature? Because I mean, they can give McTominay and Van der Beek away on loan with an option to buy.
I think I'd give Van der Beek. My priority would be selling Van der Beek because McTominay is not such a bad player.
Yeah, but anyway, I'll stop you there because you're focusing a lot on Manchester United. Let's move on. The late kickoff is Man City hosting Newcastle. Arab money at war. An interesting one to watch. Who has the most money and who has the best team?
I think I don't know. Tomorrow we have amazing games. I think tomorrow I'll be glued to the screen. From 5, I'll be just watching football till around 12 midnight.
Yeah, because I'm seeing Wolves are Wolves are hosting Brighton, and Brighton, remember, are always an exciting team to watch. So basically, from 5 p.m., stay glued on your screen because we have a big match. We have Liverpool playing Bournemouth. We have Wolves versus Brighton at 5 p.m. And then soon after at 7:30, we are going to have Tottenham hosting Manchester United and Man City hosting Newcastle. Looking at the table, both teams are currently at the top, with Newcastle at the top based on goal difference and Man City are third. So it means that it's still a key fixture because whoever wins might go to top. And of course, as I said, it's Arab money at war. So of course the owners would want the other one to lose because they want to show their power and say, I've invested heavily in this club and I can show you how it's done. Newcastle, as I said in the last episode, they're playing really exciting football. That's one team to watch this season. I think they are still within the bracket of top 4. Everyone thinks they won't make top 4, but I think they are going to make top 4. Now, looking at other leagues, We are going to have Real Madrid playing away against Almeria. For me, I think that's an easy win for Real Madrid. We have Athletic Club being hosted by Osasuna, Real Sociedad hosting Celta Vigo. The Serie A, we have Inter playing against Monza, and then we have Empoli versus Verona. Let's see in the French league what we have before my screen loads. How do you think Inter Milan will cope without Romelu Lukaku
I think they're okay.
and
I think
and Onana as well?
yeah. I think they'll still be one of the teams to watch this season. I think they bought Anatovic. I think last night.
Yes.
Was it on loan or something?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe Lukaku hasn't been like a big star for them last season. He wasn't like scoring as per usual, so maybe that's why they didn't win the league or why they couldn't catch up to Napoli. It's just because they didn't have a goal scorer. They still have Zeko,
Yeah.
I think, and Martinez.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, Inter.
And they are also speaking with Manchester United to take Anthony Martial on loan. We'll wait to see how that goes. But I think that decision is pegged on Greenwood's decision because the club released a statement and said that they are still ongoing with the process and a decision will be made soon. So they were more or less like clearing up the air regarding Greenwood. We mentioned a bit about him and last episode. There's no need to go back to that. But in my view, I think the decision to give Martial away or loan him or sell him is dependent on Greenwood because the papers say that Eric Ten Hag wants to have Greenwood back because remember Greenwood is an amazing goal scorer. He's still young. He can be molded. And at least with Greenwood in and now with Hoyland in, those are two exciting young players. So I don't want to talk a lot about Manchester United because we've already talked a lot. So let's continue the preview. So Evra, allow me not to ask you for opinions there.
I think I can have a short opinion on that because I think this is just a continuation from last week. Because last
Yeah.
week we had our opinions on the matter, and for me it was clear that I wanted him back. There's been a lot of backlash, especially after the Athletic, I think, did that article where they were saying that the board has already agreed that Greenwood will be back soon, and I think that's what prompted United to get to maybe make that statement.
Yeah.
But I am like the way Manchester were talking, the statement, the way it was like written, it just showed that they're going to give him another chance. Because the way they were saying,
Yeah.
like, oh, he's been a good player, he's been with the club for how many years since he was a child, and what. So I think they're trying to gauge the waters and see. But for me, I think they'll have him back very soon. Because they also said their investigations are all done. No, it's just deliberating among the big bosses and maybe voting whether he will be back in or not.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion that they'll agree that he should be back, which will be good news for us. And on that note, there've been a lot of backlash saying that he should not be back. My question is, okay, he should not be back. Does that mean like the fans want him not to ever play football, or they want him not to play football for Manchester United?
Basically, the fans don't want him to play football at Manchester United. But anyway, what I will say is this. He's not the only one to make a big mistake. Remember, we all regard Eric Cantona as a club legend, and he kicked a fan. What's it called? A kung fu kick to a fan, and yet he went on to play football. Why did he not get similar? Because he assaulted a human being, similar to how Greenwood has assaulted a human being. So what's the difference? Is it because she's it's a lady in this case? So players have done worse things.
Yeah,
They've
there's
been
been
accused of
instances.
rape,
Yeah, there have
and
been
yeah,
instances in football. It's not like
yeah,
something that is unique to football or any other
mm-hmm,
profession. Like he went through the process. That the thing that I'm not getting. The guy was accused, charged, went through the legal system. Then
yeah,
whether I'm not saying that he's innocent. All I'm saying is that they were not able to charge or
mm-hmm,
to he was not he was there was no case to answer. I think that's what the court finally came because the witnesses were not like doing their job. So because how can you be a witness to your husband? Like it was
yeah,
so I'm not saying
yeah.
he did
It's
not, yeah.
it's
I'm not
yeah,
saying he did not
it's weird.
do, he did not do the
Mm.
things that he was accused of doing.
We
What
we
I'm
were not
saying
there,
is
so
we weren't there, so we don't know how major. And first of all, another thing that fans don't know, the court has is privy to more information about the case than us
yeah,
fans.
mm,
So if professionals did, like, I'm sure they did enough investigation throughout the whole process because he was in the pro for like a whole year. He was in the
mm,
they were investigating further and further, and they were
yeah,
not able to like stick a charge on him and maybe send him to jail or whatever. Whatever any punishment. They found him not culpable. I think it would be
mm, yeah, yeah, mm,
what is it called?
yeah, yeah. There
I'm
is.
sure to get the whole context so the short clip, voice note, everything.
Yeah, but no, now my question is, if the victim herself is still with Greenwood, the victim has not come out to say that I agree with the fans that he should never play football again, and the victim is still with him, then there is, to me, I'm seeing there is a whole story that you are not getting. There is a whole story you are not getting, and I think the fans are just being unfair. But anyway, at the end of the day, whether he plays
What
football,
yeah. What
yeah,
I think is hypocritical is some fans saying that he can play football but just not for Manchester United. Like that doesn't make sense. I'd rather as somebody says that we do not want him in football at all because
yes,
he's a despicable person. That would
yeah.
make more sense. But if you just say, "Oh no, we are okay if he plays for another team but not for United," what's the difference? Is like say where the disconnect.
Now, I asked a colleague of mine who's a Man City fan, because to him he was like, let the boy play, but sorry about that. Let the boy play, but not at Manchester United. So I asked him, do you want him to come at City? And he was like, of course, he's a goal scorer. He's a proven goal scorer. He's young, and I would love him to even score against Manchester United at the Stratford end. Stratford end. So I'm like, yeah. Then if a
Yeah,
Man City fan can take Greenwood, why then not?
I think some
Why then not?
most like rival fans are being like disingenuous on this situation. Because if
Yeah,
he's a bad guy, why would you say that he should play somewhere else?
yeah,
Does that mean that
yeah.
like it doesn't make sense to me? If you think he's a bad person, then you should say FIFA and everyone should ban him for a couple of years. He should not play football at all because he's done something.
Speaking, yeah.
Yeah, but if you
Speaking
say,
of which,
mhm,
Speaking of which, you've mentioned FIFA. We haven't had a statement from even FA themselves regarding this case.
yeah, because
Because
the
to
case is
me,
over. The
yeah, because
simple,
the case
yeah,
is
it's
over.
simple. If you're not charged with anything, if you're not found guilty with it, what like grounds is like a football body going to punish you for, that's what is crazy to me. Like even FA and all other football bodies don't have grounds to punish the guy
Mm.
because what they did, they said, okay, this is the law system, deal with this guy, then bring
Yeah.
us a verdict. Then we'll
Yes.
now they will now follow whatever verdict the court came with a verdict.
Yeah.
FIFA, everyone in football said it's okay. Why is it so special that they don't want him to play for United? Like I don't get it. If you think he's a
Yeah.
bad
And
guy, then why would you
yeah.
say sell him to our neighbor or sell him to somebody?
Mm.
He'll go there and do the same bad things if he's such a bad guy.
And yet again, the question is, what if Manchester United fans say no, we don't want him, and actually start booing him whenever he's playing?
I doubt
They
they
they,
will.
they start.
I doubt. I
Yeah,
think
but now
it's just a few people,
yeah,
few, what are they called? Few woke people who, I don't think it's the majority of United fans.
yeah.
I can
But
assure
now the
you.
question
I can
is,
assure
what if you
you.
sell him?
Mhm.
Hmm.
I can
What
assure
if
you.
you
Oh,
sell him
sorry.
or release him? He goes, let's say, to a team like Tottenham who need a striker, and he starts banging in goals and he actually wins them trophies. Will you now then say, "Oh, we made a mistake," or will you say, "Well, it's the right decision"? Because I mean, at the end of the day, as much as football is a social sport, it's all about the fans. The fans are the ones that go to support the players, go to support the club. At the end of the day, we have to say two things. Number one, they are also human beings. They can make mistakes. We were not there. We don't know what transpired, and the courts have found him not guilty. That's number one. Number two, the club is the one that has the contract with the player, not the fans. As fans, the 6 million fans, the 6 million plus Manchester United fans, we don't have a contract with Greenwood. The only contract we have is the fact that he plays for the shirt, and we love the club. That is the only engagement he has. But at the end of the day, if the club that has signed him has been with him since he was a little boy, have found him not guilty, and the victim is still with Greenwood. The victim has not come out to say that he is an evil person that should not even be allowed to play football. Then who are we to say that Greenwood should never play for Manchester United again? So I think I agree with you, Steve. Let Greenwood play. I want to see him banging goals. I want to see him getting passes from Bruno and actually scoring goals. So
Yeah.
time is running out. We need to go to finish up. Let's move on to Bundesliga. Leipzig will play against Leverkusen. We have Hoffenheim, Freiburg. These are games that will be played at 4:30 Kenyan time, and then we have Dortmund against Cologne. PSG are away versus Toulouse. Lyon versus Montpellier. That's a very good game to watch. I'm going quickly. On Sunday, we have Spain versus England women. This is, I think, the final,
Mhm.
the women's final. Then we have Aston Villa versus Everton. Everton heavily investing on the club, heavily investing in players, but they are still not performing. I think they have a curse. Um, then we have Chelsea. Chelsea is a team that is still shocking me because Chelsea, they want to buy every single player in the globe.
There's something I saw a tweet when we were playing Wolves. There's the Wolves player. Is it Cunha?
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted that like he added Chelsea and said we need to spend another 100 million on this guy. like, like Chelsea are just buying everyone. So
They're just buying everyone. Okay, fine. They say they've let go of some players, but they let go of how many midfielders?
all of them, I
Is it
think more than they let go of everyone. Like
they
everyone
let go
was
of
told,
everyone?
you just go.
Yeah.
Chelsea are a funny club. I think
But
they
remember when AVB Villas Boas was at Tottenham, and then he sold like 11 players and then bought like 16 players, and Tottenham were close to being relegated, or they were playing at
Mm.
the bottom four, bottom five, because you're bringing in too many players and you don't have enough time to integrate them in the squad. Remember, the coach is new, the owner is new, the management is new, all the coaches are new, you have new players. So it's like Chelsea is a brand new club that has just registered for the
For
Premier League.
football.
This week they've lost one of their good goalkeepers. Their key goalkeepers has gone to Real Madrid uh, on loan. The other goalkeeper, Mendy, was sold, and now they are bringing in a new goalkeeper. So they have new goalkeepers, they have new defenders, they have new
New
midfielders, new
everything.
forwards. Everything
New
is
season,
new.
new everything.
Everything. So
I think
they even don't have a shirt sponsor yet. Who knows? Probably they'll announce a shirt sponsor in the next few days. So for me, I think Chelsea this season they won't perform as well because they need a transition time.
Chelsea, for me, it's
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
last season. So what
Mm.
we'll do, we'll just run everyone out, bring
Yeah.
in everyone,
Yeah.
and
FIFA
see
style.
how
FIFA style.
it's like a
Yeah.
change top to bottom. It's
Mm.
an experiment which I'm eager to see. The only good thing about Chelsea right now, they're buying amazing players.
Yes.
They have
Young
one of the
players
best,
as well.
yeah, young players as well. They have one of the best coaches, I think, in Europe with Poch,
Mm.
and they have everything good.
Is he
And they're not in Europe,
is
and they're also not in Europe, so they have fewer
yeah.
games to play.
Or maybe is Todd Bowley following what Abramovich did back at is it 2004 2005 when he gave Mourinho a blank check and told him go out there and buy all the players he wants, because there are some similarities there. Remember when Abramovich bought the club, they bought all these players, and 2 3 years later they were actually winning trophies.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I think Poch, when they hired him, they just told him, whatever you want to give,
Hmm.
just make sure we're in the Champions League and maybe we win a trophy, maybe an FA or something, which I don't think is hard for Poch.
Yeah,
And
considering
since
they're not in
he's
Europe as well.
considering, and I'm sure, the good thing about buying new players is that it's not hard to like tailor them to the way you want to play.
Mm. It's
Because
just that it
they are,
takes
yeah,
time.
they come from different clubs. So
Mm.
it's not like a team that was playing this way and now you want them to play this way. It's
Yeah.
a team that is new and eager to learn how
Mm.
you want them to play.
Yeah.
So and Poch is a master at is a good tactician. So I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
a good tactician.
I think they'll perform well. I don't know. I just feel there's no pressure for Chelsea this season. That's why they'll perform well. No one
Yeah.
expects them to perform well. It's a team that no one is really following keenly to know are they win. They'll just go under the radar, and maybe by the February March they are number 2 or number 3, and now
Mm.
people start saying, "Oh, Poch might win the league," or they don't have pressure and they don't have
Mm.
many games to play. Coach has more time for with the players to mold them the way he wants. They are young players also, so molding young players is easier than 30-year-olds. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling they'll do well this season, especially after the first game. I think the first game showed me that they are not so bad.
Yeah.
They've improved from last season. Maybe it was
Mm.
just the first game, who knows? And they were at home, so the fans were behind them. I don't know. But
Yeah.
after maybe 4 5 games, then we can be able to gauge where each team is.
Yeah, and they are playing against a team that seems to be unsettled, especially after selling their key player, Declan Rice. So it's a London derby because it's West Ham versus Chelsea. And then we have in the Spanish La Liga, you have Barcelona who are going to play against Cadiz, and then you have Betis versus Real Madrid, In Syria, we have Lazio playing against Lecce, and then we have Udinese playing against Juventus. Remember, Juventus are really struggling. Last season, they got fined and point deductions for some financial breaches and tapping players and all that. So let's hope this season they don't get further points deducted. Remember, Juventus have always had issues. There was a time that they were actually dropped down, I think, to the third division or fourth division, and then they came up. They started winning trophies. Now they are in that phase again where they are struggling. So Juve, come on, you need to do well. And then in the French league, we have Lens playing against Rennes. Then we have AS Monaco versus Strasbourg. Then we have Lorient playing against Nice. And then we have Lille versus Nantes. So a couple of matches there. The football season is back. So as before I end the show, I want to ask Steve, what do you think about Kenyan football compared to Tanzanian football? Because we've seen now Tanzanians are actually investing heavily in their clubs. We've seen like Simba now are going full professional. They are hiring professional coaches. They are taking their teams to Europe for friendlies compared to the Kenyan teams. So when it comes to competitions like Sekafa, do you think that Kenya we can match up now to the Tanzanian teams?
For me, the biggest problem with football in Kenya is Nick Mwendwa. Nick Mwendwa is the biggest headache in Kenyan football. I don't know, that guy he just looks like a sketchy person. He's not like, I don't know, I wouldn't say that the government, because football should not be run or sponsored by the Kenyan government.
Yeah.
The Kenyan government is just a facilitator like any other country. I'm sure England, they like, the government does like 0.0% of what they need.
Yeah,
In
that's
in
why
yeah, in
that's why
developed, yeah.
FA have privatized the league and given Premier League Limited to run the
Yeah.
Premier League.
Because if you run it like a company, it will flourish because there are books to be seen, there are quotas to be reached, like there are things. But if you just run it like a parastatal where you hope that the government will pump in money, the government does not pump in money to sports.
Yeah.
It is you to find avenues of getting money by allowing private, what can I call them, corporations to come in, sell the league to them. I don't know. Nick Mwendo does not sell the FPL. What he's known for is just crying. Always. Oh, we don't have money for this. We don't have. What are you doing? What steps is he taking to get? It's so embarrassing that that end of season, after clubs have invested heavily, then you tell them there's no prize money to give the winners. You know, it makes like even the players and the clubs, they're like, okay, then what are we playing for?
Yeah, football might end up being like other sports. I'll mention like the sport of hockey and other sports like I think floorball. There is also volleyball. Where at the end of the season, it's like most players just participate for the sake of their passion. Since they have a passion to play the sport, that's why they participate in the league. But now we need to move with the times because right now football is actually no sports in general has been commercialized. We have corporates now that are willing, but most of the time you find that what federations are usually dealing with mismanagement as well as embezzlement of funds. You'll find that the management of a sports federation is usually left on like it's a few people within the committee. Let's say a federation has 10 officials, you'll find that 2 or 3 officials are the ones that make decisions, and then these other officials are a no-go. They just want to have that position. And whenever now there is an international event or there is a big big sponsor coming in, they'll just show up, collect the check, wagawane pesa, and then everyone goes their way. So you find that actually most of the people who have been entrusted or who have been voted in to run the sport are nowhere to be seen until knock, or let's say FIFA, or let's say an international body steps in and says you're going to give you funding. That's when you'll see them there in very nice suits in hotels, launching these programs. And then once the programs are launched, nowhere is to be seen. Because I mean, you look at all federations, you look at even football, FIFA and CAF usually give out money for football development. But let's be honest, where are these development funds going to? Because most of the academies out here, we know they belong to either an NGO, belong to a Kenyan footballer who's playing out, or we have just local well-wishers who are setting up these academies. I would love to see, for example, Gor Mahia getting football development funds so that they can have their own academy. I would love to see AFC the same. I would love to see Sofapaka, Mathare United, who are doing a good job in terms of taking boys off the streets and giving them an opportunity to play.
Yeah. I
But
think
all in
that
all, it's something that is affecting all sports across the board.
yeah.
Because I think the
And I
only
think like
sport, yeah,
corporates, I think for that, just to pick up on what you said, I think corporates should stop dealing with this. What are they called? These bodies. I think they should now start dealing with clubs individually.
yeah. But
Because if
it's a
you
bit
deal with,
tricky. It's a bit tricky. Let me tell you why. It's a bit tricky because I want to mention the company for for obvious
I think
reasons.
you mentioned it to me. So
Yes, the company said it's a big corporate. They said if we sponsor a club, then it will split their customer base. I'll give an example. Let's say we're right now in Kenya, we have the biggest fans are either Manchester United or Arsenal, and then we have now Chelsea third, and then Liverpool. So if let's say that company decided to give Manchester United the sponsorship, Arsenal fans will be like, why should I use this product? And it's supporting Manchester United. I hate Manchester United. Or a Man U fan says, since this company endorses Arsenal, then why should I use the product? Let
no,
me
but
go to the next one.
I think for that, maybe I have a different opinion with you. I think if a company invests, I don't think that I'd stop using a certain product that I use simply because maybe I'm a Gor Mahia fan and they go
My
and
friend,
support
it's you. It's
AFC.
you. There are people who are
No,
like,
listen,
nah,
no,
nah, I
let's just
can't.
give an example. Let's say who negotiates. Let's say let me give you an example in
Uh-huh.
the English Premier League. Who negotiates the amount of money that our sponsor is Team Viewer gives to
Hmm.
Manchester United? Is
Yeah,
it the FA or is it Manchester United?
it's Manchester United.
You see, so
Yeah.
the companies are actually competing among each other to get sponsorship for Manchester United. So the highest bidder always gets. You see, so if you say it's open to the clubs, Safaricom will take their bid. We're not saying that a club will be what is it called, biased according. They'll only go for the highest bidder.
Yeah.
You see, so meaning the companies will be also obligated to give the best offer so that they can have they can be a sponsor for the club or something of the sort.
Yeah, and furthermore, remember we've also seen the likes of SportPesa sponsor a couple of clubs, not
Mm.
only one.
Sport Pesa is
Yeah.
is the biggest. Just imagine, Sport Pesa is the biggest, or if not the biggest, one of the maybe top three. They pump in a lot of money in the Tanzanian league. A
Yeah.
lot of money. They pump in a
Yeah.
lot of money in the Tanzanian league, and I'm sure they are pumping it to the clubs
Yes, to the
because the
clubs.
clubs are well managed. They have a good structure. So a
Yeah.
company is willing because they see the results. Right now, if you give Gor Mahia money, fans will start going for those matches because
Yeah.
they'll have more money to market themselves out there. Right now, a club like Wazito, who manages their social media site, they don't have the funds to do it. They cannot employ somebody to do that job, so they are not doing that job at all. So hata kama
Yeah.
fans wao, they don't even have like you see, like other countries, there are these fundraising things for clubs.
Yeah.
After maybe the season is over, through pre-season is when clubs go and source for funds for the coming season. That's the time. So before the season starts, when the season starts, they have enough funds for the to put them to run them through the entire season.
But
Kenya I haven't
yet
seen.
yet
Kenya I haven't
again,
seen a
as I've
club
said,
like
yeah.
just let me finish. I haven't seen a club, any club, even Bandari, like publish, hey guys, we have a meet and greet for all our fans. Kujeni tupige sherehe, whatever, if there are proceeds that will come throughout, ama
Yeah.
a dinner somewhere, if there's proceeds will go to funding. And I'm sure fans, if you are a true fan of a club,
Yeah.
you know the players, you know, like you'd want to go and maybe be close to the players that your fan base. Unaona your fan base yenye nasema, a fan base is very strong for any club. Without a fan base, you are dead. So
Yeah, true.
as a club, the problem is if you don't have the money to even organize such small events that will ultimately bring even more money to your club, inakuwa shida. Like, so hii FKF kuingilia mambo za watu kusource funds, I think it's a disservice to the clubs itself, that ati before you talk to a sponsor lazima ni kumwendwa aende meeting ndio approve kwamba hiyo the company is good enough to sponsor you.
Yeah, and you know, if we are honest, they're only going to those meetings because they want to know how much the club is getting
And how
and
much
how
they'll get
much
as a
they'll
kickback
get.
from all that.
Yeah, yeah, because they start making threats like if this club does not give me this, then I will ban them from the league since FKF
Yeah.
have not approved.
Approved a
And
sponsor or approved something.
yeah,
Like we need to find a structure where the sponsors go, like sponsors are able to talk to clubs without interference from, because tayari imetuonesha if FKF was run well, no problem. You can be in the conversation about sponsorship and everything. But
yeah,
if you're not like you're not you're not being genuine in whatever negotiations zinaendelea, mnataka
yeah,
nyinyi mkwe kwanza na meeting yenyu kando before watu
yes,
waongeleshe club. Naona hiyo inaleta a lot of yani, hata club hizo sponsors atasema me I'm giving out money, and for me to give out money you want more money.
yeah, you want more
Naona
money.
hiyo
But you
ita
know
make
now,
sense.
as we conclude, because now we've maxed out our hour. I'll say this, and I'll say this with a bit of bias and digress a bit from football. The problem we have is, as I mentioned, mismanagement, not only at the federation but also at the club level. Sometimes a sponsor wants to meet the club. He says, "Hey, I'm interested in your club, and I want to help out by becoming an official partner or an official sponsor." So he says, "Okay, I want to meet relevant people." Then you find that the club, since it does not have a good structure, it has like 8 or 10 people who are coming to meet the sponsor. So, Steve, I mean, if 10 guys are coming to the meeting, won't you be intimidated?
Exactly.
And you know,
And you
most
know
of this, yeah,
my argument for FKF staying out of it is just it shows that companies are willing to give money. Look at this KOT 5 aside.
yeah,
They source funds seriously. And these betting companies are so willing because there's no interference from FKF
yeah,
and these bodies that the government put, these parastatals and bodies, they're not involved in that. So as long as you bring a good organization on it and they see, okay, if we do this, because a company wants also to do marketing. So if a club just puts themselves vizuri too,
yeah,
because Gor Mahia
because
has numbers. No, all clubs
yeah,
have numbers
they
actually.
have numbers, and my point is this: you find that some clubs, they send they instead of having like a good management. You know, a professional club has a corporate side to it and has a sporting side to it. So you find that some of the clubs, the head coach is like the one who runs the club. So when a corporate sponsor wants to come in and support a club, you find that the management goes with the coach because the head coach is part of the club, and most of the time this also affects the smaller clubs because unapata since mimi nimeinvest kwa hii club mimi ndio head coach, mimi ndio tm na mimi ndio nitaenda kunegotiate a sponsorship deal. So corporates don't like that. At the end of the day, you have to structure yourself in such a way that a CEO of this company or an MD of this company knows that on the other side there's a top dog, there's a top office or official that I can actually go shake hands, sit down, even if it's having coffee in a hotel or having lunch, informal talks. I can actually negotiate with them. Corporates don't like the fact that day one I'm speaking to this person, day two I'm speaking to 5 other people. By the time it's getting to, let's say, the final part of the negotiations, I don't know who to trust. I don't know whether
Go to
you're
club.
actual an official of the federation of the club or you're a thief. I don't know. So that's why you find, I'll tell you from my experience. On the side, I run a club. Steve, you know, I run Twinkle Hockey Club. And this is something I've experienced before. And before I was even CEO of the club, I used to help other clubs look for money. So by the time you're going to the sponsor is like, okay, who's the club president? No one. Who's the club chairman? Oh no, this is the head coach. This is the captain. Then he's like, okay, I can't speak with you because the head coach and the captain can leave the club at any time. They
Yeah,
can be
anytime.
replaced at any time. So I think at this point, it's clubs, not only in football but in all sports generally in Kenya. We need to structure a way. We need to structure ourselves in a way that a corporate can identify and say, this is the go-to person. Like, uh, let's say Steve, you have Wavy Farm, okay, you want to come and sponsor, let's say Simon FC. Your PA and my PA can talk and say, hey, my boss needs a certain report. Or you go to your PA and ask your PA, organize a meeting with the CEO of Simon FC, who is Simon, not necessarily this Simon, but yeah, we usually, actually, I can say as clubs, we are the ones who chase sponsors away.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
sponsors
because
sometimes they don't want some people. Okay, I don't know how it goes because I haven't done. I think if you go with the Omba mentality to a sponsor,
yes, yes,
that's the worst.
yeah, it's
Go
a give
give
and
them what
take.
also. Yeah, it's a give and take. Come to a sponsor, say, if you do this, this is what you get in return.
Yeah, or this is what we have to offer,
This is what we have to offer, and
but
this
we
is
need,
the
yeah,
we
like
need
most of the
funds to do
time,
this.
what I've seen that I'm giving secrets, and I'm sure my boss will kill me for this. So I hope he doesn't see this video. But what I've seen working in most cases is you tell them, this is what I have, this is what I need, and this is what I'll do for you in return.
Yeah,
Okay, those three
sell them a
things.
product. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's called just sell
sell
the
sell
sponsor a product,
a product. So, for example, you can go
and
and
this
tell
is
them,
the cost of the product. That's it.
yes,
Just
yeah.
it's
As
simple. Like
as assuming, sorry, I'm cutting you short.
okay, okay.
Assuming I'm like the CEO of Kariobangi Sharks, because right now Kariobangi Sharks is the most popular club in the country. So as the CEO, I just take one or two members and approach a sponsor and tell them, I have a huge following. I have these numbers on Facebook. I have these numbers on Twitter. I have this following on TikTok. We have, let's say, 10,000 people viewing our posts every day. So you're already telling the sponsor, you already have a marketing avenue, because sponsors just want to be viewed and to be
Mm.
seen that they are supporting the club as well as they are offering services. Then, of course, there is this aspect that most people have not yet known, whenever you're going to seek money, you have to have your own money as well. You're not going to ask for money from scratch. For example, Steve, if I come to you and tell you, hey, I want to buy something and it's worth 1M, can you give me 1M? Versus, I want to buy something that's worth 1M, I have 700,000, I just need 300,000. Which is the easiest one to give?
Obvious the 300 was, if it's shown also your intention to actually buy it. It's not just an
Yes.
idea. It's
Yeah.
something that even if I say no, you're still going to pursue it.
Mm.
No, no.
Yes,
So I'd be more
exactly.
inclined to give you
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so as I said, and I agree with you, basically I was just resonating with you by saying the omba omba mentality will never work. We need to put away that sort of approach and say, hey, look, this is what we have done so far. We just now want you to come in and help us continue the journey. If you continue in such a mentality, it is easier. And then
yeah.
and then be structured. When you're structured, you are taken seriously. Usiende usichukue head coach na ati captain unaenda kunegotiate contract. Just structure your club such that they know nikitaka finance, there is a finance guy. Nikitaka communications, I need to go to a certain person. Yeah, and it becomes easier to get money. So, Steve, on that, final thoughts, then we close.
Final thoughts on that. Yeah. For Kenyan football,
Hmm.
until we just decide on what to do, I think FKF have shown that they're not willing to help clubs to grow. They're not willing even to give prize money. Prize money is something you should have known how much you have before even the season starts. It's not something like you can't say that you don't have money when the season is almost ending.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it really shows that you don't have any form of any kind of like accountability. Things like the season start, those are so many months that you have to find the funds. Ukifika at the final game of the season is when now you're telling people they don't have money. Inaonyesha tu there's a big problem. Hata you should be fired right there and there. You should
Hmm.
even be embarrassed saying such things that you
Yeah.
don't have money.
Hmm.
It's the final day, the final game of the season you have. Yeah, somebody. So for Kenya, I don't know I don't know how it will go, but also fans have a big stake in this.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
also peer fans we've let our teams down. Sana fans don't like when I don't know fans also we are not good fans. We are not. We just want everything made iko hapo ready, sisi tu tunaenjoy tu, lakini yeah, we are not ready to support even unaweza
Hmm.
sema.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm culpable for that. I
Hmm.
can count with one hand the number of Premier League games nimeenda kuwatch in my whole life.
hata
I'm
mimi
sure
I've
hazijafika
been
tano. I'm sure hazijafika tano. In the
uh,
last
uh,
3 years, I haven't gone even to one. I think the last one I went was in 20 something when I was in Mombasa.
hmm.
That's when I went for the last one. Now I wasn't even going.
Hmm.
Somebody was going. Akaniambia, let's go and see how the game is. And
Hmm.
imagine it was 200 bob
Hmm.
to go and watch that. 200 bob only.
Yeah.
But fans would rather spend thousands when the club where you will not even see the game live
Hmm.
and watch people in another country. And fans here we should wake up kidogo.
Yeah,
And
as well as match going fans, kindly do not give new fans or any other frequent match going fans a difficult time. Because I remember one time I attended a game. I won't mention which game, and some hooligans actually started uh, a fuss. There was like a riot, and we lost our phones, we lost our wallets. We say never again are we going to the stadium. The game was at Nyayo Stadium. So yeah, so part of the ecosystem is as a match going fan, also make it welcoming, make it as a
Mm-hmm.
welcoming uh, ground to new fans who want to explore or have that experience of attending a live match, because it doesn't make sense to me, Steve. Yes, you're telling me to spend 200, but I lose things worth, let's say, 100,000. I'd rather spend the 1,000 in a club. Let me spend 1,000 at a club or a pub watching the game with my friends, rather than sisi tushikane tuweke gari mafuta, we drive, let's say, all the way to Macha to watch a game, and then tukirudi we don't have our phones, we don't have our wallets, na tumegongwa,
But what
tumeumia.
I
Yeah.
have this idea, what
Mm.
if football matches they take the route of rugby,
Mm.
where it's not just about the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like a
The
thing
whole
where
experience.
the
But
whole
now it
experience where
depends, as we said, it depends with management. Now, if you see
yeah,
rugby have had brilliant minds in management. There are guys who've gone out, who've experienced whatever is outside there, and they try to bring it here. Because rugby, I can tell you, the last time I went to a Savary 7 series, we were actually with you and our
mm.
good friend Pascal. We didn't even get to watch the rugby matches.
But you know the good thing about it, we paid.
Yeah, we paid.
So
Mm,
the money went to the clubs,
yeah.
regardless
But
where it was direct, but they had funds from that, and it was a
mm,
good experience. And if they do another, like if whenever they do it, fans
mm,
want to go.
yeah.
Even if you're not a rugby fan, most people were there were not really rugby fans. They just went there to have a good time.
Yeah.
So
And that's the thing. It's the clubs. Let's start with the Federation,
mm,
Kenya Rugby. The clubs themselves and the corporates, they were speaking the same language. They were on the
mm,
same wavelength.
wavelength.
Because to them, they said, as much as we are offering rugby as a sport, let's make this experience in such a way that also people who don't even know rugby or
Mm.
have never attended a rugby match can
Will
come
enjoy
and
and
enjoy
enjoy
just the
themselves.
environment. So that is what is lacking in football, and the sport I also participate in hockey. We usually, like, it's like a closed circle. You come, just watch the game, go. There is no experience around it. Because
Yeah,
I
no
remember
experience
when
at
we
all.
when we were with you in Mombasa at MSC, we paid, we went in. So instead of watching the game, we were like attracted. I won't mention the things because of obvious reasons. We were attracted by the entertainment, and we call it entertainment,
Mm,
and we ended up enjoying the entertainment. And then that feeling plus now the excitement of rugby makes you
mm.
even want more of the experience
Want
and
more.
looking forward to the next one.
And introduces you to a sport that maybe you would not watch.
Yes.
No, let's say if you're
Mm.
not a football fan, kabisa,
Yeah.
but you enjoyed the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Even maybe you had a glance or two on one or two games, maybe got interested. So by the end of it, you have a club in mind.
Yeah.
You know, there's TB, there's Mwamba, you see, eventually, if you go to a certain number of them, you'll
Mm-hmm.
just find yourself affiliated to one of the teams, maybe the
Yeah.
winning team or whatever team that will be there, or the
Mm.
team that you're closest with. Maybe your home team will be there,
Yeah.
something of the sort. So eventually, you'll be introduced to a sport that
Yeah.
you are not watching, and you might find yourself even enjoying. Kitambo, I never used to watch the series, the what is it called, the Sevens
Yes.
series, the
Mm.
international one. That is, I never used. I
Mm.
didn't care.
Yeah.
But right now, if there is one that is being played, and I hear about it, I will want to go and watch it,
Mm.
even if it's online or wherever. I will watch it because
Yeah.
Kenya is playing. So the Safari Sevens in Kenya introduced me to rugby, and I
Yeah.
started enjoying even the seven series in them. So
Yeah.
I think football should really learn from how rugby is being run, Although over the years, even rugby is starting now to like kuyumba
It's
yumba kidogo.
rugby. It's like always up and down. But one thing I
Yeah,
love about rugby, Kenya rugby, is despite the rambling, despite the disagreements, the 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 professionalism of the actual game, of the
yeah,
actual tournaments, is still maintained. They don't
still
compromise
maintained.
on
Yeah, they
they
don't.
don't compromise on the events, they don't compromise on the leagues, they don't compromise on supporting clubs. Yes, they have troubles. Every sport has troubles. But Kenya Rugby, I'd say whoever is watching this and is a Kenya Rugby fan or works with Kenya Rugby, please, thumbs up. We need to learn from you. So, anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Remember, you can always follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Even on YouTube, you can watch our videos. We are trying to see whether we can get onto TikTok, but unfortunately, our account got, or some of our accounts got banned for I think 30 days, but surely we'll get there. So until Monday, when we are going to do our match reviews or weekend reviews, have a good one. Enjoy football. Stay warm and stay safe. Cheers and bye bye.